Right, it's day 13 and I'm finally back in this chair properly so I can talk properly. Yeah, rather than doing 2-minute little videos. So, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of things that I want to cover in this video, and I've kind of made notes in my head the last few days about what I want to talk about, but yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to kind of go over. So I'm just gonna go straight from the top. So first of all, as I said, like in a video 3 days ago, or was it 2 days ago, or whatever, I'm gonna start dopamine detoxing or limiting dopamine, right? And I didn't really say much on that. That video did quite well. It got like 300 views, which is good for this series because they're averaging like probably 30 views, and they get a few more after a few days, but whatever. But yeah, that video did pretty well. So I just wanted to kind of go over what I was kind of implying with that, because I don't think I really went over it properly. I mean, this is literally one of like multiple things I want to go over. I've got like a little sheet of like little just bullet points of what I want to kind of like say. But yeah, before I get into this, if you're new to this kind of series, I'm currently living in Porto on my own for a month. And the last few days, I've had my friend and I've had my dad come over and stay with me for a few days. So that's why my videos haven't been nearly as good as they were prior. And that's why they were just little vlogs holding the camera here. So there's a little backstory, but basically it says it in the title. That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm making the steps towards getting there. And I'm just kind of making notes along the way and talking about my progress and talking about things that I think people, if you're watching these videos, can get some value from, but also keeping myself accountable to certain things that I say to myself that I'm going to do, and I say to you that I'm going to do. So anyway, limiting dopamine. Yeah, basically dopamine is, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know what dopamine is, right? But dopamine is if you don't know, it's a chemical hormone released in your brain when you accomplish something of pleasure and something of accomplishment, right? So that's why when, okay, I don't want to get too, that's why when you eat a piece of steak, right? I'm going to get sexual, but you can imagine what I'm implying by saying that. When you eat a piece of steak, you get a hit of dopamine because you feel like you've accomplished something. You've eaten food, which gives you the nutrients that allows you to live, right? So your body releases that dopamine to then tell you to kind of get that more and more and more so you can live, right? Because if you don't have food, you don't have steak, you don't get any dopamine, you don't live, right? So it releases dopamine to tell you that that's what you need to survive, kind of. So that's kind of like it's kind of a, I want to say sapien, but it's not. It's like it's a thing that's kind of been with us for evolutions, and we've kind of, it feels like we've grown out of that, but we're still humans at heart, right? Even though we're in this modern world with everything. So yeah, dopamine is released when you accomplish something of you accomplish something. So if you upload an Instagram post and you get some likes, you'll keep refreshing it, like, oh my god, this person liked my post. Oh my god, this person liked my post. Oh my god, my crush liked my post. Whatever. You get that feeling of like, I'm happy, okay? So you keep posting, or you keep going on Instagram, you keep checking your feed, or you keep going through your TikTok, and this is the worst part, right? Everyone's addicted to TikTok and short form content nowadays, right? That's why it's such a good sell if you're trying to actually be on a producer rather than consumer side of it. But the reason we're so addicted to it is it works the same way as gambling, right? So gambling works because you don't win. Obviously, the casino, the house wins at the end of the day. The odds are usually about 51 to 49, 51 going to the casino, 49, and obviously it differs, but it's always the house has got better odds of winning than the guys coming to the casino, right? So with that being said, there is a chance that you win at the casino, to which you then get a payout. So you put £10 on, you get £100 back. However you win that money, doesn't matter, I don't care. But you get that £100, from putting that £10 on. So then you're like, oh my God, I've just got 90 quid for free. I've literally done jack shit, I've just got 100 quid for 90 quid for free, cool. So you keep then putting £10 on, £10 on, £10 on, £50 on, £100 on. But you don't win every single time. But because you've got that initial feeling of winning initially, you then do it again and again and again in search of the feeling that you got from the initial win. And this is why TikTok works so well, because you go through your feed, which is tailored to you, which is because of the algorithm. You go through your feed that's tailored to you, and then you keep scrolling until you find this post that's like, oh my God, this applies to my life. This is something I really like. It may be a football clip. It may be American football clip. It may be a tennis clip. It may be something about goals. It may be just a motivational clip. It may be something that you're like subconsciously looking for, and you see it, and it releases a load of dopamine because that's what you went on the app to find in the first place. And because you get that feeling, the same feeling that when you go to a casino and you get that big win, you keep scrolling until you get that big win again. And that's why you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It works the same way as gambling. It's the same fucking thing. So you need to fucking limit that shit because it's such a big distraction. Your brain is telling you, it gives you such a good feeling that initial time that your brain doesn't know what's best for you, but it knows that that's a good feeling. So it keeps forcing your brain subconsciously to want to go on that app. So if you see your phone, your subconscious brain relates your phone to TikTok, to that dopamine addiction, right? Whether it be from likes on Twitter or it be from TikTok, as I was saying. And you see your phone even in your peripheral vision, and you just subconsciously pick up your phone. And how many times have you found yourself go on your phone and you just literally just go on it, and then you realize, why did I even pick this up? I don't even remember picking this up. I'm just looking at my phone now. It happens so often. It happens often to me. I'm sure it happens often to 99% of people. So the reason I say this is because it is making. I'm butchering this. It is such a big distraction from accomplishing my goals and so many other people's goals, because it gives you that feeling of instant gratification or of dopamine that you're meant to be getting from the work that you're putting in, and then the rewards of that. But because those rewards are so far-fetched and there's no guarantee you even get to those goals, your brain is telling you, fuck those goals, subconscious brain is telling you, fuck those goals, let's just go on TikTok and you can feel good straight away. But you know that doesn't get you anywhere, it just fulfills you at that moment in time. So if you can limit that dopamine and teach your brain that is gone now, TikTok is gone. You're not addicted to TikTok anymore, it's just gone. It doesn't exist. But it does, but it doesn't. You don't go on it, you delete the app, whatever. Your brain will then start to not get as much dopamine, like, shit, okay, where am I gonna get this dopamine from? Oh, there's no other sources of dopamine. I mean, obviously you can have food, but that's why people cut out sugar and stuff, because that releases a shit ton of dopamine because it feels good when you have it. But you kill the dopamine there, and then you go to, your brain then realizes, shit, I can't get dopamine from anything. I'm just gonna have to accomplish my goals, right? I'm gonna have to go to the gym because I get a shit ton of dopamine when I finish in the gym. Stuff like that, because that's what you're meant to be getting dopamine from, is an actual accomplishment, not these shitty little instant gratification sources like TikTok or whatever. So my reason for saying this is I'm going to be cutting out dopamine as much as I physically can. Now, the problem that I've had, I've been such a self-help guru the last few years. I've read so many self-help books, I've read so many books on random stuff, right? But my problem is with me being in the social media space and with my income kind of somewhat relying on social media, I can't go and delete those apps. So I've got to find another way around not going on them. And it's really just discipline at that point, because if I've got Instagram staring me in the face on the home screen or TikTok, and I know, my subconscious knows that it brings me this happiness, this sense of fulfillment every time I go on it, then I'm just going to keep going on it. No matter how much willpower I have, it's just not going to be enough. So I need to find a way around it, because I'm going to find myself just falling into that trap more often than not, even though I may have willpower, and sometimes I'll sit on my phone and be like, no, I'm not going on Instagram. So that's why I'm saying this, because I need to limit dopamine as much as I can, because if I can actually get dopamine from accomplishing stuff, which I do, but not to the extent that I would if I wasn't getting instant dopamine from TikTok, which releases a lot more than, say, writing a blog and publishing it, then I'll be able to get so much more done just from accomplishing different tasks. So yeah, and I think if anyone just if you want to enjoy life and enjoy the actual fruits of life and not be, this is going to sound and not be depressed, you need to limit the dopamine that you're getting, because if you're sat there getting unfulfilling dopamine like TikTok all the time, nothing that you do in the real world, like going on a walk with your family, or that, yeah, I'm not going to go off topic. Going on a walk with your family, or just anything like that, playing sports, just going to the gym, just anything that's fulfilling, or even just going on a nice scenic drive, just anything like that. You won't get nearly as much dopamine if you're still addicted to your phone. So even if you're not trying to pursue this entrepreneurial journey, I can't recommend doing this enough. I know all the ins and outs of it, but because my job entails social media, it's very hard to actually stop falling into the trap of going on it. So I need to, that is my promise to you on this, and this is why I'm doing this series. My promise to you is I'm going to stop using it nearly as much, and I will find a way of getting over it, whether it be using a screen blocker like Opal, if you know what that is. It's an app in the App Store that blocks your screen time. Stuff like that, and only going on it at dedicated times. Say I go on social media at like 5 p.m. or stuff like that. But yeah, I wrote something here. Hold on. So with social media, hold on. I'm kind of moving topics now. Let me just put this at the top, because this is going to be a long video, I think, by the way. The thing with social media, right, is you have the fear of missing out on social media and on your phone, which therefore makes you habitually go onto it, so that I can either check my feed or check who's commented on my post or liked my post or texted me. And once you go on your phone to text you, you'll then find yourself on social media, as I imagine so many people have done. Well, I know so many people have done, because it's such an easy trap to fall into. You sometimes go onto your phone implying that you're going to go reply to someone, and then you'll just find yourself on social media. And imagine I'm not the only person to do that. So, yeah, I kind of, it's me more with replying, is I can't find myself focused on a task because I feel like I need to keep checking WhatsApp or need to keep checking Discord, which sometimes I do, but most of the time not really, because it's never actually that mandatory. And if I were to ignore it for, let's say, the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that I'm actually sat here trying to do deep work in, then what's the worst that's going to happen? Probably nothing most of the time. So I think it's worth, if I'm actually working on something productive, it's worth literally just doing that thing, and that being that, nothing else. No social media. Maybe you can have music on in the background if you really want it. Obviously, it's another dopamine source, but then some people like that. I like that, so I'm not going to judge. But yeah, I'm still recording, right? I'm looking at a Notion document here, so I need to actually check. Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's my kind of take on that. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I'm going to try and find a way to limit it as much as I can, and also limit just going on WhatsApp and other distractions, because I'll just find myself falling into that hole again of just consuming rather than producing. And if you want to make money, you've got to be a producer, not a consumer. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to my current situation after the dopamine lecture that I've just given you. So yeah, right now it's about finding the vehicle to get to 10K a month rather than putting my time into a million different things. Now, there are obviously 16 hours in a day. And right now, I mean, I've been in Porto for the last 2 weeks. I've kind of done this city. I've definitely done this city. I've done the vineyards. I've done multiple wine tastings. I've done probably every single street like 3 times over, like the main streets. Obviously, you can go into the suburbs, but who wants to go into the suburbs, really? So, yes, I still enjoy this city. But my intention the next week is to be as disciplined as I physically can. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'll fucking do it, first of all. I'm not trying to make the next week enjoyable, because if every day is enjoyable, you're not going to get fucking anywhere. Like, no, it's going to be hard at some point. So I've been slacking the last week because I've had people here, whatever. So I'm implied to make the next week, I don't want to say hell, but hell. Like, do things that I don't want to do and just fucking start. Because once you start doing something as well, like once you start writing that doc, you actually realize it's not as bad as you think it is. And then you just enter flow state and just forget you're even kind of doing it. And actually, it's actually kind of fun. The only thing that's hard about hard work is actually getting over the wall of resistance, the wall of procrastination. So that's kind of my take. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make myself just fucking do whatever it is that I've got to do. And yeah, I've found the vehicles that I'm going to use initially to get to 10K, because there's different vehicles for different areas of money, right? you're not going to get the same vehicle you used to get to 10K. 10K? The same vehicle you used to 10K, you're not going to be able to use to get to 10 million, right? Most of the time. Obviously, there's exceptions. But if I'm doing influencer marketing to get to 10K, so I'm outreaching to as many brands as possible, fulfilling the brand influencer marketing deals, and then getting to 10K via that, it's good now because I have the time to constantly outreach. But further down the line, what you want to do is leverage other people's time. That's why you have businesses, so you can focus on more high value tasks, like things that only someone in your position can do, and outsourcing other stuff to people, like lead sourcing or emailing or replying, or even sales further down the line, like getting salespeople to do your sales for you, right? So yeah, I think my vehicle now is influencer marketing, translations, which again, on our website, if you really want to check that out, it's on my Twitter. I think it's linked, or it's in my link tree or something. I don't know. But it's on our website. We do translations of YouTube videos to different languages, and we do influencer marketing. So yeah, two things. It's just outreach on them. I don't think there's anything else that's more high ROI, which is return on investment of my time, than literally just outreaching right now. So that brings me on to non-negotiables. I think that every day, without fucking fail, I will do at least 50 outreach to at least 50 influencers for translations, and at least 50 brands for influencer marketing, minimum. If I've got time and I realize that outreaching to these influencers, these brands, doesn't take as long as I think it is going to in my head, if I can actually optimize it as best as I can and realize, okay, it only takes 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time, right? It's still 2 hours, but the amount of ROI I'm going to get from that, if I really want to get to this goal quick, I'm just going to have to just fucking nail on that. So, I'm just gonna nail on that. Just put it simply like that. I'm just gonna nail on outreaching, right? Because once it's finished outreaching, the rest of it's just perfectionism a lot of the time. I feel like we as a collective. Lifted as a collective, I feel like we waste a lot of time on perfectionism before we actually do the thing that actually gives us outcomes, right? We're too perfectionist. We just need to fucking go. So we've got to that point now. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do on the back end, really. Maybe there's one thing like edit a doc, perfect a doc somewhat. That's it. It's literally just outreach. Outreach calls. Outreach calls. Obviously fulfillment as well. Fulfillment is obviously the most important, because if you're working with brands or influencers, it's much easier to keep a client than it is to gain a new one. So if you can do the best job you can for a client, you're going to keep the client on for longer. Simple maths. So, yeah, I don't think there's much more I really need to think about doing with my day other than just outreaching. Because anything else, yes, I can do it. Yes, social media posts could help minimally, but what's going to help? What's going to have more of a return on investment? A little shitty Twitter post to a minimal audience on Twitter to make ourselves look a bit more professional. If someone clicks on my Twitter or the company Twitter or whatever, or so an hour to make that post. You do the text, you make the graphic. It's a long process. So you have that, or you can spend an hour outreaching to brands, which 5 brands. That's what 5 brands. You can do 5 brands in an hour, easy. You can probably do more than 5 brands. You can easily do more than 5 brands in an hour. I would imagine if you've got an optimized strategy, easily more than 5. You can do 10, 15, 20, whatever. So yes, there's other things that I could do with my time, of course, but are they really necessary? Because I don't think they are. Like most of the time, we think they're necessary because they seem easier to do. So we're like, okay, yeah, I think it's a lot more easy. I prefer writing up a blog post than outreaching to 10 companies via cold email. But if you look at it with ego aside, you look at it from the side, like a neutral perspective, someone outside the company, they're going to be like, why the fuck are you writing social media posts when right now you just want to outreach and get people on board? Because social media posts isn't going to bring nearly as much value as outreaching to people is, right? So I think, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, the people who work with me who are watching this video, but I don't think there's anything else that I need to do with my time other than just simply outreach. Anyway. put out that outreach, and then obviously do this YouTube channel. I've got a video that I'm gonna upload in a few days, and I've also a proper video, and I've also got another one that I need to re-record, which I'm going to record tomorrow. I just fucking do it tomorrow, man. As I was saying, forcing myself to struggle and not to enjoy, because you're meant to enjoy your work, of course, but right now I'm not in a season of life where I'm trying to enjoy myself, right? In work hours, I'm in a season of life where I want to get to a point, and if I'm just going to go half-heartedly or even less than half-heartedly into it, I'm never going to get to there. So without working hard and without enjoying, I'm actually enjoying even less, because I'm working half-heartedly, to which I'm not going to accomplish anything or minimal things. So I'm kind of enjoying myself a bit, like I'm watching, I don't know, just enjoying myself doing various things, but rather than actually nailing for a long period of time and then enjoying, which I'm going to get so much more return on investment of that time from, I'm sat here half-heartedly working with zero outcome or minimal outcome coming from it, and I'm not even enjoying it. So it's better to go hard and then play hard, like work hard, play hard, than to work mediocre and play mediocre, right? So you're either working or you're not working. 2 seasons of life like that. So the next week and a day while I'm here is going to be, because I owe it to the people I work with as well, is going to be the hardest I've worked for a long time. I'm going to stick to that, because I'm making this series, and yes, I'm making this series, but I'm not exactly struggling, and I think the point of this whole series is to like absolutely grind to get to the point of 10k a month. I'm not trying to get to 10k a month and accomplish it in 10 years, right? I want to get it fucking now. Well, not now, but as soon as I can, because yeah. So the next week and a day, I owe it to the people, because I've been busy the last few days, and then also my mum's coming next Friday. I mean, it's Thursday now. Next Friday, so a week and a day, as I say, my mum's coming. So again, it's going to be hard for me to get these videos out properly. It's going to be hard for me to work properly, if at all, because my mum's here. I mean, my dad was here. I was thinking, yeah, I'll probably have a bit of time to work myself. Literally, we would get up at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., leave the house, and then we wouldn't get back in until like 10 every day when he's here. And it was similar with my friend, so I can't imagine it's going to be too dissimilar with my mum. And again, I'll say it again, you don't get moments with your family back, right? Yes, I could work another 3 days, but that would be mediocre work, and it wouldn't even be much work at all. So rather than working, and I know to the discontent of the people that I work with, and how they're going to get maybe a bit annoyed, like, oh, Ollie's with his mum until they're sick, but then he goes to Madrid, then he goes to Barcelona, then he goes to Nice, then he goes to Monaco, and then he comes home. That's a 4-day trip, by the way. It's not like I'm going for fucking ages. It's from the 6th to the 10th, and I'm flying home. Yes, I'm doing that for 7 days, but I'm young once, and this is a small season of life where I've gone away properly for a long period of time, an extended period of time, to which it's somewhat novel for me to do it on my own, because, yeah, so to which my parents have wanted to come and see me, so they've come and see me, and your parents aren't going to be alive forever, and I imagine you're not. I said this the other day, but I'm going to say it again, just because everyone's not going to be watching every single video. What's the point? You're going to get on your deathbed and look back on life, right? And you're going to think to yourself, fuck, why didn't I spend more time with my parents? Why was I working instead of spending quality time with my parents? Because when am I going to be alone with my mum in Portugal again? Like, when am I going to be alone with my mum on holiday in a different country again in my life? What? Just me and my mum. 2 weeks, maybe a bit more if I get a bit more freedom. But right now, like, I don't know. And you can't take it for granted, because she could pass away next week. She could pass away in 2 weeks. She might not. She might. I'm not trying to jinx shit. I'm also touching wood with my left hand. Not on purpose, but I was. But like when those moments come, you've got to appreciate them, right? And although people that I work with aren't going to be content, that's fine. I understand that. I completely understand that. Yeah, those times don't come around too often, man. So you've got to appreciate them when they come, like properly appreciate them. Because otherwise you're just going to look back on your life in regret. So your family comes before everything, and yeah, so that's my take. And yeah, I just want to say a dead sorry to the guys that I work with. I know I am slacking after this week, so that's to you. But as I say, we've all got parents, or if you're lucky enough to have parents, you know what it's like. And if you can actually see my point of view on this, I'm sure you'll understand, and I'm sure the guys that I work with understand as well, after I've just kind of explained it. But yeah, it's a week of my time, and yes, we don't live forever, but I mean, I'm going to finish that, and I'm going to be home from November until whenever with no plans. So when I'm home, I've got nothing to do other than work, right? So I'm just going to enjoy the time that I've got now, and do the things as they're here, because they're not going to happen again, most likely. Well, here in Porto, living on my own, is it going to happen again? Most likely not. It's not that I don't like the city, but I mean, I might live here in the future. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. But right now, I'm 20. Going to enjoy it while it's here. So yeah, sorry to the guys. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to absolutely go ham the next week. And it's easy for me to say now. I know. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I can't be arsed. But I've just got to fucking do it. I've just got to wake up and force myself to struggle, because I'm not trying to play. I'm trying to work, you know? So force the struggle. Who gives a fuck? Wake up, get it done. Because at the end of the day, next Friday, if I've put an absolute fucking shift in this week, I think the guys won't even be that pissed that I'm taking a few days off to be with my parents and go on a little 4-day trip around Europe. Because I've just absolutely fucking gone ham the last week. And I'll feel incredibly fulfilled as well. So yes, it might be easy. It might be nice to procrastinate working, but at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, when you finish that piece of homework or you finish whatever it is you're doing, you feel so fulfilled. You feel it's that dopamine hit again. You feel so fulfilled with what it is you're doing, because you've finished the thing that you've been wanting to do for a while and it's finally done, or you just put in an absolute shift. You just feel fulfilled because you know it's accomplished. It's got you close to your goals. So that's my plan for this week. It's easy for me to say now, I know, but I'm on this video. I've got other people watching my actions as well. So I need to get my head down and work, man. So that's what I'm doing the next week. Simple as that, boys. Don't get me wrong, I'll still leave my house. I will still leave my house and go to the shop. And I will still leave my house and enjoy this city somewhat. But I mean, there's 16 hours in a day if I go out for a few, whatever. But in the time that I'm working, however long that may be, could be 12 hours, probably won't be more than 12 hours, could be 8 hours. I don't want it to be any less than 6 at a bare minimum. Like 6 hours of deep work, you can get a shit ton done, right? So deep work, not shallow work of just filling in spreadsheets, like deep work, proper work. You can get a lot of shit done. So I'm not saying that as an excuse that I'm going to be putting in 6 hour days. I wish I could be putting in more than that, because I've got nothing else better to do, and that's my plan, because I've got to make up for the time that I've just missed and the time that I've got to make up for in advance. So yeah, I saw this clip from Joe Rogan the other day, and I think it was basically what I was kind of saying before. But if you force yourself to do hard things, if you can just do hard things and force yourself to do them, like just do it, I don't care. That's kind of like the motto is in my head. Kind of, I say that to myself. If I don't want to do something, I just do it, I don't care. If you can force yourself to just keep doing hard things and keep doing hard things, you're going to get rid of the somewhat demons that are in your head, just telling you to be a pussy and be like, nah, it's much better to lie in bed, much better to do this. You're going to get a lot more shit done if you can focus on hard things. You're going to learn, your brain's going to learn to do hard things. It's going to think of hard things are no longer going to be hard, right? They're just going to be, that's fucking life. Because right now, we're all fucking pussies. A lot of us, majority of the population, we're all pussies. We don't want to, we're in too much in our comfort zone to leave it and do something else, because it's so nice being in our comfort zone, sat there playing video games every day, going to sleep, doing the same thing again. It's nice, and it's an easy life. That's all people kind of work for nowadays. It's quite sad, but yeah. I mean, I'm not saying don't play video games. If you enjoy video games, I'm not saying don't play them, but just don't waste your life doing that and then working and then sleeping and then playing video games and working and sleeping. You know, like I love playing pro clubs with my friends for a few hours every now and again, but I haven't bought any FIFA. I haven't bought the last FIFA. Haven't bought the FIFA before that. So I mean, I haven't played video games at all really for the last like 2 years now. It's quite sad actually. It's not sad. But I do miss. I get that nostalgia. Anyway, I'm going off topic, but yeah, hard things. If I can just force yourself to do hard things for a long period of time, like let's say 2 weeks, you just like fuck it, I just do it. I don't care. Fuck it, I just do it. I don't care. Every single time, or as many times as you can, you're gonna slowly build up that trust in yourself and be like, right, I fucking just do it, even if I don't want to do it, I just fucking do it. I just do it, and then you build that trust in yourself. And if you can do it for like, let's say a month, you'll be like, okay, I put this trust in myself. I've done something for every day, every time I don't want to do it for a month. Cool. Now I trust myself. And when the demons come and say, nah, I want to be a bitch, you'll be like, no, I trust myself. I just do it. You know? So I've done it for the last month. Why can't I do it now? And then you'll just keep building that trust in yourself. You're going to get there. So that's my kind of plan. Again, it's going to be hard to do it again. It's going to be hard to do it next week, after this week, because yeah, mum's coming or whatever. But yeah, that's just kind of. I mean, I'm not really too spiritual, but that's the kind of thing that gets forced at you when you're trying to improve yourself. Stuff gets forced at you, and as nice as it may be that my mum's coming, it's an obstruction, right? It's making it hard for me to do this. It's making it hard for me to get to 10K a month. So as much as it's nice, it's also a pain in the ass somewhat. But then again, I'm not being ungrateful at all. I'm not being ungrateful at all. That's not what I'm saying. But it's come here as soon as I started this series. And it's a barrier that I've got to go over. So once I get over that barrier, once I'm home, there's literally nothing I'm doing. I'm not even going to be playing tennis much because it's fucking freezing in the UK. Because I play tennis like 5-6 times a week normally. So, yeah, once I'm home, it's just going to be fucking nailed. And if I can get trust in myself to not be addicted to dopamine, to force myself to do the hard things and work hard and play hard. So work hard when I'm working properly. And if I'm playing hard. I play tennis without a thought in my mind. Just play it like, I'm playing tennis right now. Life's good. I'm not going to die. This is nice. Okay. That's it. You know? So, yeah, there's that. This is something that I wrote. It isn't very it isn't written in great English. I literally just wrote it as a note, but I'm gonna read it out because it helps me explain my point. But in work hours, you work distractionless, and in play hours, you play with zero consideration or as little consideration for work as possible. Otherwise, when you're about to die, you're going to regret not enjoying your life and look back wishing you'd enjoyed those moments you had. So, I mean, simple as that. I've said it so many times. I don't need to say it again. I've said the same thing so many times, but yeah, it's simply work hard, play hard. Because if you work your whole life, you're never going to enjoy a moment. If you play your whole life, you're never going to be able to play because you're always fucking working a little bit, just a little bit to get you over that little barrier, working a little bit more. My dad's calling me, I can't answer him, I'm doing a video, sorry. Let me just text him. Yeah, so if you're just playing all the time, you're going to have to just be working to keep your head above water. Oh my God, he's calling me again. Sorry, boys. Yeah, if you're just playing, you're going to have to be working just that little bit to keep your head above the water. You're never going to get anything out of life. You're just going to be sat there playing video games in your free time or watching Netflix, which is how a lot of people live nowadays. Again, as it's sad, but yeah, you're not going to get fulfilled out of that, and you're not really playing at that point. You're just playing you're just wasting your life away at that point. Like, what's the point, you know? So if you can work, if you can work hard, you're going to accomplish more things, get more money, get more whatever. And then once you've got that more money, you can then play much harder and say you can go on massive fucking trips to the US or Dubai if you want to, because everyone seems to be going to Dubai. Or even here, you can come here, work hard, and you can sit here and live in Porto for a month, you know? So you get the fruits from working hard, and you can play properly hard rather than just playing a bit and just playing video games, and that's your play because you accomplish something else and you don't have the finances to do something else. So that's my take on that. Anyway, next thing. Having a goal. So my goal, sorry, let me go from the top. If you want to accomplish a goal, or if you want to accomplish, let's say, get to 10K a month, you need to have a reason why you're getting to 10K a month. Like, okay, cool, I want to get money, I want to get to 10K a month, but what does that 10K a month do for me? And then you can kind of you want to picture what that thing is. Otherwise, you're never going to have the motivation to actually do it. When stuff gets tough, you need to have that motivation, like, oh, okay, this is why I'm fucking doing this, you know? So, yeah, I mean, to put it simply, I want to move to America. That's my, that's kind of my goal. I just kind of have a, it depends if it gets fucked over there. But right now, if you know me, you know that I'm a massive American fan. I've been there multiple times in my life because I was lucky enough to do so. And I'm a massive NFL fan. Although all these influencer gurus tell you not to watch sports. If you watch sports in moderation, it's all right. That's what I see it. It's like, if you enjoy it, cool. Just do it a bit, but just don't fucking let it take your life away. Obviously, I follow quite a few of them, but yeah, I feel like I've got a decent balance at the moment, at least, and I'm aware of it. So me being aware of it is good, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. But yeah, I just picture myself living in what, Chicago, living in somewhere, and living in an apartment there or whatever, and just kind of living there, doing whatever there. That's kind of my goal. There's that. There's also a few materialistic things, but as I said multiple times, I'm not a materialistic person. But obviously, there's a few materialistic things I want, like a nice car, obviously, and a nice house. But I'm not very materialistic. I just want to have a good wealth for various things. I mean, there's no harm in being vocal about my goals. I mean, I think 10K a month would allow me to take my whole family on like a trip to, let's say, Spain for a week, and I just pay for the apartment for the week, and then everyone just flies out and they just stay there, you know, stuff like that. I think it would just be one that your family's going to be kind of like proud of you, and that's kind of a good thing that you can. Although if it sounds somewhat egotistical, I think everyone's kind of like they're like that. Everyone's built like that. Everyone wants that outside gratification. Although it's bad, whatever, it's a good goal because I think that would be so nice as a family to do something like that. So there's the first thing. Yeah, that, and just paying bills, whatever, living a decent life. I'm quite family oriented. I'm weird. I think about having kids a bit. So, and I'm only 20. It's weird, man. It is weird. I can't really give you a reason, but I would love to have the finances to have them have a good upbringing and have a nice house for them with a nice car, and like be able to do the things that I wasn't able to do when I was younger. Not that I was from like a lower class family. As everyone knows, I'm not. I wasn't. I was very lucky growing up, but it's not like that we're the richest people in the world. But just be able to take them on trips or do this or do that, and not have to worry about finances. I think that would be good. And yeah, just have time freedom as well when I get to that point, and be able to spend as much time with them as I can, because yeah, there's a lot of people that have kids and they kind of regret not spending more time with them. They kind of get back from work, then they want to chill because they've had a tiring day, and they want to watch Netflix, and they go to bed, and they just do that every day, just disregarding their kids as they're growing up. So I don't want to do that. I want to spend as much time with them as I can when I have them. But I've just completely go off topic. But it's just goals. It's like, I'd love to have a nice house for them to live in. I would love to have a nice car. I'd love to be able to look after them well, you know, stuff like that, and look after my wife well and whatever. So yeah, I just want that time freedom and financial freedom. That would be nice. That is the end goal. So whenever it's getting tough, I think about things like that, right? I've got the instant goals, which I want relatively soon, and I've got the long-term goals, which come from me working hard now, because I'm going to get the fruits of it later. So yeah, a goal is good because when you're in the slums, you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? If you've got it written down, you've got pictures or whatever, you can just read it. You're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm fucking doing. You get back to it. So, anyway, yeah, time management. Right, I've got 3 more bullet points. I know I've been talking for a while, but this is probably going to be an hour-long video, but it's fine. Having a goal. Time management. So I recently, if you watch my recent video, you will know that I just got this clock. Let me see. I just got this clock. I hold it like a Premier League Player of the Month award. Yeah, I just got this little timer thing. So I got it with the intention of using my time more intentionally. To which, yeah, I've said this. I think I've said this quite a few times in the last few videos, but to feel fulfillment in your day, you need to use your time for intentionally. You waste so much time. There was this quote I put in the description of the last video. It was by Seneca. It was. I can probably remember actually. It's not that we have so little time. It is that we waste so much. Oh, my dad's calling me again. It's not that we have such little time. It is that we waste so much. So, yeah. My kind of thought on that is, in the times that I'm working, I'll be like, right, I've got this task. I want to write this document. I want to do this amount of outreach. I reckon this is going to take me 30 minutes. Cool. Set the timer 30 minutes. You do the outreach. You get it done in that thing. Parkinson's law, you just get it done before the timer goes off. And then you're actually going to get it done. You're going to get so much more done in your work periods. And yeah, it keeps you accountable rather than just like aimlessly going like a feather in the wind. Just kind of like, yeah, okay, it's 3 o'clock now. It's 4 o'clock now. I've done this. Cool. It's 4 o'clock now. I've done a bit of this. Cool. It's like, fucking, I'm doing this. Done. Right, now I can check Instagram. Cool. Whatever. And then you set the timer again. I'm doing this for 30 minutes. Cool. Doing that. Okay, now I can go on a walk. Whatever. But it's going to stop me from wasting so much time because a lot of my time, and I imagine you guys too, a lot of my time just kind of like goes. It just goes. I don't know where it goes. It just goes, you know? It's like next thing you know, it's midday, and next thing you know, it's 6 p.m. Right? It just kind of goes. And you're like, what the fuck have I done in those 6 hours? Not much. So I've got this timer. I'm like, right, fucking 30 minutes. 30 minutes. It's pretty cool. All right, 30 minutes, done. Yeah. Beeping. So, yeah, that's that. Time management. I just don't want to waste as much time as I used to, because I was so good at wasting time, and I still am. So that's why I got that. Okay. Yeah, another thing that I was thinking about coming into this video is realizing what the worst is that's going to happen, and realize that your worries aren't as bad as they seem. So oh yeah, but my dad just texted me, sorry. I'm getting distracted. So yeah, realizing what the worst is that's going to happen, and then realizing that your worries aren't as bad as they seem. I read this book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie, who in fact is the same author that wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've read both books, both very good, highly recommend. But I think the worrying one, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, is such a freeing book. I think it's so underrated. I think the How to Win Friends is like, it's so mainstream. It's good, don't get me wrong, but everyone's using the same kind of, if everyone's reading that book, everyone's going to be using the same techniques. So they're not really techniques at that point, you know? I mean, obviously not everyone's read that book. Probably, I'd say like 10% of the UK population has read that book, because no one actually reads books nowadays, especially people like my age or a bit older, you know? Books are kind of going, which is sad. It's sad, but yeah, it sounds egotistical again. I feel yeah, I'm not trying to be like that. But anyway, yeah, you've realised that, okay, if I'm working this job, most people, if they're working a job, cool. I'm just talking my example, but then again, I am 20. I am working a job, cool. But I worry about so many different things. And I imagine we all do. We all worry about random things. We have anxiety about things and whatever it may be. But the anxiety is worse. The thinking makes it a lot worse than it actually is. It's never actually that bad most of the time. So yeah, if you lost your job, yes, it's not going to be ideal. But if you've got a brain, you have savings that you can spend. Now, me being 20, I've got to say, I don't have many savings, but if you went through your life the last few years, you need to start saving your money. Saving your money. Unless you're just keeping your head above water, in which my take on that is lower your expenses. So do that however you can. But yeah, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like if you get fired from your job, cool. You've got a set of skills. Most likely from that job, you can go and get another job. Like that's most people's worst worries, I think. Like obviously people, family dying. Obviously I could be being naive and completely forgetting about important things here, but a lot of my worries stem down to work and finances. When if all of those were to go, yes, it wouldn't be ideal, but I can get myself off the ground. I'm only 20. It's a learning process, isn't it? It's failures. You learn from your failures. So just realizing what you're actually worried about, and realizing, and you write them down on a piece of paper, and rather than being loose marbles around your head, you can actually realize, okay, this isn't actually that bad. This isn't actually that bad. And then you feel a lot more like at ease with yourself. And another thing, I think I've said this in another video, I'm going to say it again. The main principle that I took from that book, I mean, there was like 9 chapters, 10 chapters, whatever, was live your day by the day, right? Don't live in the future, don't live in the past, live your day by the day. And most of the time, you're not going to die that day, right? Nothing's going to happen that day, you know? Even if you lose your job, cool. You're still going to go back to your apartment that night. Just live it that day. I know it's not, obviously lose your job is such an extreme example, but I mean, there's always, most people get over that, obviously not everyone. Can I just say, I'm obviously 20, so a lot of this stuff could be perceived as somewhat naive from an older audience, or from most people who aren't seeing things the same way as I'm seeing them, or if I'm just completely missing something that I'm talking about, like going homeless. Obviously that's not ideal, but you're still not gonna die. And I know that sounds fucked, but yeah, you don't want to go homeless. So yeah, but I'm completely losing track here. I've been talking for too long. But yeah, if you can write down everything on a piece of paper, cool. But if you can live your day by day, you'll appreciate your life so much more, I think, rather than living in the future. Because if you live day by day, you don't have expectations, you just kind of live. Whereas if you sit there I literally wrote a blog on this, it's on my blog page, which you can find in the description. If you live looking forward to, say, a holiday or this or whatever it is, you completely disregard the day that you're in and the week that's coming up until that holiday or whatever, however long it is. You disregard it, and then you get to that holiday, and then you realize it's not as good as you think it is, because you've made it up to be. There's such a big thing in your head. And yes, I'm not saying it's not good, but you get to that holiday and it's like, oh, I'm on holiday now. Is that it? You know? I know it sounds fucked, but I imagine we've all kind of felt that feeling before. You get so excited, and you get there, it's like, cool, it's not a bad holiday, don't get me wrong, but you just don't have that feeling, you know? So rather than doing that and just completely disregarding your life until you get to that point, I think it's good to take each day by day. And I think it will just make you happier overall, to be honest. And just work by means of working it each time. So yeah, I wrote a blog on it. It's in the description. I do actually highly recommend it. I think it is my favorite blog that I've ever written, and I think I've written about 30 of them, maybe 20 in the last few years, which I want to start writing more. But yeah, I am quite proud of it. To be honest, I think it was quite informative. So yeah, check that out if you want. It's about what the topic that I was just talking about. But yeah, live day by day, and you'll realize you just take so much stuff for granted, and it's not as bad as it seems in your head, and everything you're worried about isn't as bad as you think it is. So yeah, just appreciate what you have at each time, and just live day by day. So yeah, anyway, last point. It's kind of a thing that I've kind of gone over in the past, I believe, but block out all distractions and noise that comes with distractions, and just that comes with the work you're doing. So just work on one thing at a time. Like just work on one thing at once. Don't do 2 things at once. Don't be checking Instagram while you're watching a listen, like I can't think of an example. Don't be checking Instagram while you're doing a PowerPoint. Just do the PowerPoint straight up. Someone's walking past my door. Fine. Yeah, just work on one thing at a time, whether it be writing a document, whether it be doing outreach. Just focus in on that and don't get distracted until you've done it. And that's why I've got this timer for that exact reason. I focus on it for 30 minutes. I do everything I can in 30 minutes. Once that 30 minutes is up, everything that I feel like I want to be doing whilst I'm doing the outreach, I do as soon as the 30 minutes are up. So I check WhatsApp after the 30 minutes are up. I check Discord when the 30 minutes are up. You know, if anyone's called me, I call them back after when the 30 minutes are up. Yes, it's not ideal, but you're going to get so much more done doing that, even though it doesn't feel like it, and you should probably answer the calls. Sorry, I've just hit that on the table. A lot of calls are just kind of meaningless, I find. And again, I'm quite introverted. I don't really like calling unless I really have to. It's weird. But yeah, just work on stuff intentionally, and I think you'll get much further, even though it kind of feels counterproductive ignoring things, especially things that you think are productive, like WhatsApp or whatever. You're going to get so much more done if you just kind of focus on one thing at a time. And I want the other guys that I work with to know that as well, because I'm not good at replying sometimes, and I want them to know. That's one of my worries. I feel like I need to always be alert to if I get a message. I need to reply instantly. But if I'm actually working, it's more productive to actually just work and ignore it for 30 minutes until I get the message than to reply instantly and just completely distract myself from the work that I'm doing that is productive, you know? So just work intentionally and do things at a specific time. Yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to say, and it was about 4-hour work week. There's a thing that I learned in that, and I can't remember what it is. Nice. Yeah, I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, that's all the points that I kind of wanted to go over today. I know this has been a very long video. It's probably like 50 minutes now. It's been 52 minutes. Okay. So my last video was 48, and I don't think that was bad, but I think this is a bit more informative. Kind of goes over a lot of things. Yeah, so that's everything that I kind of wanted to go over today. That's where I'm at. And yeah, it's just, my day is just going to consist of outreach, forcing myself to do the hard things, limiting dopamine, struggling because it's obviously not going to be fun doing that. It's going to be hard. I'm going to be getting, let's call it withdrawal symptoms. I'm just going to have to get over that initial feeling of subconscious want for Instagram or whatever. But once you get over that after a week or 2 weeks or whatever, as hard as it may be, once you get over it, you're going to be so much more fulfilled. So yeah, that's my take on that. But yeah, I don't think there's much more that I need to talk about, really. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll think about what I was going to say with the 4-hour work week for the next video, for tomorrow's video. But yeah, expect a week until next Thursday night. So tonight, Friday, Saturday, until next Thursday night. My mum comes on next Friday. Expect these videos every day. Maybe not as informative as this one, but there'll just be things off the top of my head, how I'm doing, how I'm doing regarding everything that I've just said I'm going to start doing today with dopamine and whatever. But yeah, I'll get to that when I get to it. Yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, please, last thing, please subscribe to my newsletter if you're not already. All you've got to do is put your email address in. It would be so appreciated. I've currently got 88. I've got 8 subscribers. 8 subscribers to my newsletter, and I do put quite a bit of thought and heart into them when I write them, because they're just value from things that I've learned from reading books and just kind of like my take on some things. So if you are interested in that, it would be so appreciated if you were to subscribe to it. Like, I couldn't tell you how thankful I would be, because it's been so hard to gain subscribers from it. I know that's on me, and I know I should be doing more stuff online for my personal brand if I want to gain subscribers. But if you want to subscribe, it would be incredibly appreciated. And yeah, links in the description, as well as the blog that I was talking about earlier in regards to living day by day and not looking too far into the future and appreciating the moments that you have. So read that. That is the pinned blog on my Medium, which is in the description. Anyway, if you want all my social media, also in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Cheers.